Welcome back to We Play Games. I'm Walker, and here we are inside of our campaign, Her Majesty's Government. And so in this campaign, we're playing with just Queen Victoria. When she dies, the campaign ends, but we're playing with some really serious house rules. We are not allowed to declare Conquer State on people. We are not allowed to declare puppet or dominion on anybody who is not already our protectorate, and we're expanding our protectorates via bankrolling people. And so what this has resulted in is this map, the market map for the British market, and for all of these to become protectorates. But the only way we can get somebody from a protectorate down to a puppet is if they have a rebellion. You know, let their local government screw up first, then we'll force them to become closer. And then we're going to do the same thing where, like, if there's a rebellion in a puppet, then that's the end of the road. Unfortunately for Cape Colony, they start as a puppet, so they only have one hit point, and they blew it on whatever this is, so we're going to annex them at the end of this. This has been a really interesting exercise in how to paint the map kind of peacefully. So you'll notice that our money is fluctuating pretty heavily right now, and that's just because we have a relatively large construction sector in comparison to the size of our overall economy. We have that large construction sector because, of course, when we can use our investment pool, then we can cover it very easily. So when we're actually building our economy, then we're fine. But it is expensive when we're building things that we can't use investment pool on, and you can't use investment pool on government administration. And so every time we queue up government admin, we just kind of have to accept that we're gonna take it on the nose. Sweden wishes to enter into a defensive pact. Yeah, you're gonna be becoming a protectorate sooner rather than later. So if a defensive pact makes you feel better about that first, that's fine by me. Well, it looks like the EIC is taking this as an opportunity to rebel against us. Oh, this is probably because we have a defensive pact with the Sikh Empire, isn't it? Well. I'm glad we've expanded our market outside of just the EIC, because we would be in a lot of trouble if we were exclusively relying on the EIC for all of our resources here, because we are now going to have to fight a war against them, because if they win independence. So we're going to immediately just go for their capital, which is going to be South Bengal. This is a really weird first Anglo-Sikh war over here. Yep, there we go. Whoa, the East India Company is at 79 infamy. We're only at 16 at the moment. Because we really are, we're not going to go over 100. That's going to be a firm rule for me. But I think once we're done with this, we're going to have to go subjugate Qing once more. Because they're pretending like they can be antagonistic towards us, which is just not acceptable. And so by using Punjab as a staging area where we were able to position our troops, when we were able to make a naval invasion, we were able to flood the zone, get more troops in there. Although, boy, the EIC has definitely been pushing back. Sweden is offering an alliance, and they're offering an obligation. So what they're offering us is becoming a protectorate? Good. We are allowed to annex native uprisings as well as colonize, but we're following some specific rules about colonization. I'm not allowed to colonize in severe malaria until I hit the level 4 tech. A white peace, we would absolutely accept that peace deal. Almost 30 million in our construction pool, or in our investment pool. Let's go ahead and switch into steel frame buildings, or start researching steel frame buildings. And this is where pushing so hard on society at the beginning of the game kind of actually helped. All right, so once we've put these guys down, I think we are gonna start another war against Great Qing. Antagonistic and cold. That's just not acceptable. See, won't you be like your little brother? Be more like your little brother, Japan. After we declared an open market war on them, they became genial. They're nice. They're happy now. They'll be even happier once we've turned them into a protectorate, but that'll come in due time. Ooh, it'll come right now, actually, because they're no longer on Defend the Borders. All right, Siching, you could be like this. You could be part of our fun party. Oh, and we have an heir, Frederick of Hanover, rural folk. Sure. So he's born during the time when the rural folk were still politically important, and maybe he had like a friendly gardener on staff that he liked when he was a young boy, and he became enamored with the politics of the rural folk. But of course, by the time he becomes the king of Great Britain here, it's gonna be a little late. All right, we're gonna get a new round of protectorates here because we can pick up a protectorate in Denmark. Ooh, and another one in Belgium. We're not quite at being able to turn Spain into a protectorate, but we're really close. If we can just get some more troops on the books, I think we can get there. So we're going to do this round of construction here, and then we'll add a little bit more barracks at the back, and that I think is going to push us over the edge. Ooh, all right. France has started a make puppet play against Uruguay. That's not acceptable. We have to protect our market. So we're going to go ahead and start mobilizing all our troops. Oh, and Peru, Bolivia has joined in. We're just going to send some of our troops just around to the French colonial possessions. France, if you're uncertain, it's okay to back down. War with France has broken out, but we should be very well positioned to just explode the French economy with convoy raiding. Yeah, I don't think that France really thought this one through, because they don't have control of the seas. We do. Plus, we have allies down here. This is going to be a very, very easy war, and tons of money is going to end up flowing from France into Uruguay, of all places. I don't know, maybe we should turn them into... They're being bankrolled by the United States. Not on my watch. Good, we'll just sink the French Navy for good measure. Oh, and now we can invite Japan to our customs union. Awesome. And now we can go ahead and make a Spanish protectorate. Use that obligation, baby. Spain accepted the demand for them to become our protectorate. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I imagine France is going to try to embargo us, but that's just not going to work very well for them. And we got steel frame buildings. Yeah, we accept French war reparations being paid to Uruguay. It's all going to end up just like blowing past their gold reserves cap. So it really just destroys French money more than anything else. We need to annex the Cape Colony. Unfortunately for them, they had a rebellion when they were already a puppet, and that's all we really need. It will just export fertilizer to basically anywhere it'll be profitable, because we do have enough bureaucracy, or we will. Yep, Cape Colony backed down. Good. Now Russia decided to make some indiscriminate border gore here, so we'll let Russia attack us, and then we'll be allowed to clean that up with a conquer state CB, or they will become our protectorate in due time. Oh, we could do an open market on them. Sicily unified Italy, even though we did have a protectorate there, because it went around us for some reason. When we got a mechanized workshop. Mechanized workshop is also really strong. And we'll take reinforced concrete. We'll do a little bit of production technology. We've mostly been focusing on society. And now we're at the point where we're just so far ahead on tech that we're not even getting tech spread. That seems about right. But we do need to make sure that Qing is behaving. And right now they're hostile, antagonistic. That's completely unacceptable. All right. Well, we successfully scared Great Qing and they backed down, and now they are in free trade, but unfortunately that meant that we didn't get to beat them up for war reparations. Not that that's what we were doing here, Queen. Your Majesty, we would never stoop so low. Never stoop so low. Oh no, she has kidney stones. Ah! Well, we'll see if this has a long-term impact on Queen Victoria's ability to live. Yeah, I think it's time for us to go into free trade. And we're just going to keep suppressing the trade unions until they disappear, because they're currently radical Republicans. They're currently Republicans, which is dangerous to us. So we're gonna begin our border cleaning up here and turn Chile into a protectorate. And of course with dynamite, we are gonna dramatically increase the amount of explosives we have moving around, but we're not done using them. So that increased in explosive production is temporary. We haven't built a single wheat producing building or grain producing building all game, because we've just been growing our economy the good old-fashioned way. We're using 41,000 convoys for trade routes right now. That seems about right. It is now 1854. We've expanded our market. The Ottoman Empire has successfully taken back the territory it needs for the Tanzimat, so I'm curious to see if they make it. I kind of doubt it, given how weak the Ottoman Empire typically is. But in the event that they manage to hold on, then that would actually be pretty useful for us, because it would be an opportunity for us to add another protectorate. Because be aware, you can make major powers like Spain into a protectorate. It's been a really interesting decade so far for the development of the UK. We've been building up our construction sector pretty heavily. We've, of course, continued to grow our GDP. Now we're starting to export a lot of our goods to just the rest of the world. Importing raw materials and exporting finished goods is usually a really good way to progress. On that note, we could just import more sugar. Because we don't want to be doing like a mercantilist strategy where we're only focusing on exports. We want to focus on doing anything we can in order to maximize the amount of trade that we have going on in the world and the amount of productivity we have coming out of that trade. And especially in regards to things like tea. Wow. Oh my God. So much money here. And of course, this is going to make the people who own our trade centers enormously wealthy. But yeah, anything that's an agricultural product that we can set up as an import route, especially because we're on free trade, so it's going to cost us almost nothing. We're also running tons of ways to ignore infamy, so I'm not too worried about one or two of these. The other really big strength of kind of like flooding the market this way is that if you're trading with just one person and they have a political problem, that's a problem for you. But if you're trading with the entire world and somebody has a political problem, that's a problem for them. And so we're just doing tons of trade here, moving lots of goods around. Anytime we have an opportunity to set up a nice little import route from somebody, just to encourage economic activity with them, then we'll do it. But yeah, the British market now has grown to absorb basically all of South America except for Venezuela. We are working on Venezuela, or we would be, but they are currently only neutral towards us. Oh, all right, now we can start bankrolling them. Good. But yeah, the Her Majesty's government is overseeing a dramatic increase in our standard of living at this point because we're gonna start trading with the world. The Ottoman Empire is attacking Egypt once more, so I think this is gonna be our time actually, where we're gonna start leaning towards Egypt, and we will intervene on Egypt's behalf, especially because they are attacking Greece as well. But that'll be for the next episode of Her Majesty's government. We will see the great crisis down here in Egypt, and this is, I think, ultimately going to be the thing that gives us a way in the door, because we want to turn Egypt into part of our growing supermarket here on We Play Games, because we are getting really big. We've got all of South America. We are starting to expand into Africa and into Southeast Asia. Of course, we have Japan, we have Manchuria, we have the Sikh Empire, and we'll start expanding here as well. This will be an interesting fight to see how it turns out against the Ottomans, because our army is very professional, but right now we don't have a lot of peasants hanging around inside of our territory in Europe, so we can't really conscript very easily. We are definitely at the point where we need to start building up our barracks even more, which seems kind of crazy because we're already at 341. So we've been building up our army pretty significantly just so that we can keep conducting some fun diplomacy here. Man, and we're getting closer and closer to being able to get Italy in as a full-on protectorate. But how we resolve the markets here in Europe is going to be something that's going to show up over time. We have managed to start to eat into the Prussian market, and maybe we'll even get the Oldenburg and Hanover back. But I am really looking forward to seeing what the Ottoman Empire does here, because now they are fearful. That's Walker, that's We Play Games, and that's episode 2 of Her Majesty's Government. Take care.